The Town Blanche Museum, located in St. David, Maine, the historical archives for the Madawaska heritage, is full of important information about our history. Historical buildings that we toured include the Albert House, the storage shed, and the Acadian Landing.
You can't come in until the school teacher rings the bell. Come on in. House in Madawaska, Maine. The schoolhouse was built in 1860. It says Catherine Albert. It's her graduation certificate from Madawaska Training School. Now, public school methods. So what I'm saying is these teachers were trained. So just because this is a one-room schoolhouse, it doesn't mean they were getting a poor education. They live, there are books that are French. And for good work, you would get a prize. Okay, so in this case, you see that, so they are giving them the bicultural education, but we are sitting in an American finance school system, so the influence is there. You have questions?
Mr. Hubert, I have a question. I'd like to make inference about the reason that there's muskets on the wall. Is that because students would bring them into school and then you just hang them there, or is it just...
No. Those are from the American Bicentennial. We had a parade in town in 1976. You will see the banner over there, 1776. Declaration of Independence.
200 years.
Okay, 200 years. We had a bicentennial parade, and we had kids on the float with the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell is now sitting in the park. Okay, so if you take a picture of that, during the bicentennial, there was a float with that hand-carved reproduction of the Liberty Bell, and 4 students in colonial Minutemen uniform with these fake rifles. Okay, so what it is it's an artifact from 1976. Kids did not bring rifles to school, but because of the connection between the American Bicentennial and the parade, this is something that comes from that. Has farm implements in it. It's not an old shed. We built it for storage. Now here is one that is so old. You see, when they first came here, metal was rare. There are only 2 metal parts on this one. So this is pre-1860. It may look like a potato basket, but it's not. I'll tell you what I think it is. This is about the size of a peck. A peck is 15 pounds of potatoes, 15 pounds. So you put a peck of potatoes or apples or whatever it is, and you drop it in the basket. So sometimes when I listen to the old visitors that come in here, even as much as I can teach you, I can also learn. You start by carding the wool. And then you spin it. And then you put it in skeins. And then you will have either that different color thread over here and
put it all together.
Okay, and end up with, okay, now.
So this goes into the buttered blocks of ice.
Put it in the ice, it gets hard, then you have a block of butter, okay? put your mark when it's still soft. Put your mark so you know who made it. Hey, with the oats and hay that he raised on the flat and sent to the lumber camp. I like to show these pieces here. People have seen many of these in museums, washboards. But you know, when Monsieur got a little bit richer, he bought Madame a glass by this piece. Look at it. It starts at the bottom. It goes right through to the wall. Why? Well, when these houses were on the seacoast, there's lots of wind from the sea. And the wind, it's a windbreaker. The ship's knee is right up here. There's another one on the side, but I'll get a whole bunch of pieces is this one. Why? Because look, it's much more used on this side than that side. But Madame knits, doesn't she? So now, if you will look as you across, you see all sorts of monuments. Those are family monuments where we've had reunions of these families. Of course, we started off the first reunion, Daigle, because of Joseph Daigle that I've just told you here.
20 years.
Whatever. You know, there were mementos that were put into a barrel or something and buried there.
The class of 2000 had planted many trees here to be remembered for generations to come.
Okay, now this is like this, parallel to the road, parallel to the road, parallel to the road, parallel to the road. But the Americans go perpendicular. The War of 1812, the battles are in the Great Lakes area, okay? But the British reinforcements came through here and they said, that's the way from east to west. We're at the border. We're at the meeting of the cultures where the French and English come together, where the Canadians and the Americans come together, where the logs go down the river and ended up as masts and spars for the British Navy, okay? So we're at the cultural crossroads. You'll be quiet, young man.